video. You can restart the video. Yes, thank you. I've added a spotlight to the timer, and you can share your screen now.
Okay, now, but after sharing the screen, I won't be able to see the timer.
I'll prompt you in terms of 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and later to 1 minute. Okay. I'll add a spotlight to the timer so that you can view through it as well.
Okay. So how is everybody doing? Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet, sir. Can you please check if it's shared?
Okay, let me recheck that.
Yes, it's coming up. Yes, we could see the screen would request for a full screen.
Yes.
And the timer would be highlighted you.
Yes, now it is perfect. Okay,
yeah.
I can see you guys also. And so once again, good evening. So my particular work which I'm doing is related to oil retail petrol pump automation solutions. This particular one I will call it in a prototype, although it has been deployed at 1 or 2 sites and the testing has been done, but still there's a lot of development work which are still to be required. That's why I'm calling it as a prototype stage of innovation. And I'm calling it as a sustaining, because this is for an existing solution in the market. We are improving that solution with latest technology and latest functionalities. So that's why this type of innovation, which as per the criteria, I am defining it as a significant improvement and calling it as a sustaining type of innovations. So to look at what exactly is the scope of the area or the area, this is for the petrol pumps. Now, a lot of people in global world call it gas stations. In India, we are very familiar or comfortable with petrol pumps. So I thought, let me bring in a context here. So there are various public sector providers in India like IOCL, BPCL, HPCL, 3 of them. And then there are private players who are allowed, Reliance, SR, and there are Shell and all couple of global companies. There is another company called Naira, which has a tie-up with Russian companies also. So they are also building up the retail oil distribution. So this particular solution is for the oil distribution, which include petrol, diesel, and modified petrol and diesels, which we call different make called different things. So each of this petrol pump in itself is a small ERP. So if we go into the status of that, so there are around 81,000 petrol pumps in India as on date, and there is a growth of around 5,000 petrol pumps every year. So expecting that by 2024 we should be around 96,000 petrol pumps. These petrol pumps are categorized into different ones, which is company-owned, company-operated, called COCO, then company-owned, dealer-operated, which is CODO, and then there is a dealer-owned, dealer-operated, which is DODO. But there is a government guidelines for the purpose of consumers, which is you and me, quality and quantity, that automation is mandatory. And this particular, on the right-hand side, what I have captured is one of the Rajya Sabha question about the oil dispensing and the quality the customers are likely to get. So automation is compulsory and to be provided by the corporates. So it is not by the dealer himself which is deploying the automation. So important part is that our customers are government customers. There's no question of any financial issues or anything, and there is a mandate on everybody to have the automation in place. Why and where I will cover up subsequently. Now, in my particular solution which I am offering, I have divided the whole solution into 2 different parts. The part number 1 is fuel facility automation, and part number 2 is non-fuel facility automation. What I mean by that is, in the fuel facility automation, there is an oil receipt and oil sold, and there is a price control. In non-fuel, which is energy optimization, your facility monitoring and facility utilization, you do the lighting control, you do the energy control, you do many other signboards and other things, including UPS, DG set, compressor, which you monitor that. So there are associated benefits with that. So in terms of the fuel facility, you maintain the quality and quantity. The oil companies are able to do dynamic pricing, although in India it is not very specific, but in the global world, you will see that prices are changing on every petrol pump depending upon time of the day also. So early morning when there is a rush hour, particular petrol pump which are on the peak road, the prices may be a little bit higher, and that vice versa depending upon how they want to sell it. And not only that, but the government is also able to maintain the inventory so that we consumers in any untoward economical situation, the company doesn't take benefit out of that. The energy optimization and greenhouse gas reduction and carbon reductions and all are picking up, and because of that, a lot of other solutions which will be required into the industry, and that is what is the part number 2, which is non-fuel facility. Now, in a pictorial form or in a solution form, when you say the fuel facility automation, there are tank gauging where you receive the product, and there are dispensers from where it is sold, and both of them are controlled through a controller in the back office, sales office, and all the data is sent to the public sector, to the government, to the company's centralized server. In the non-fuel facility, all the environmental sensor, temperature, humidity, air quality, lighting, and UPS, DG compressor, everything get covered into non-fuel facility. Current status of fuel facility automation is that there is a mix of the solution, which is wired as well as wireless. By the way, this fuel facility automation is happening from 2008 onward. So it is not new which has happened. And I was party to implementing that when I was part of Honeywell in 2008 to 2011. Around 1600 outlets I had done automation and maintained that. That's why I'm pretty familiar with the domain and the solution which is there. Afterward, when I noticed that there is a wireless getting deployed, there are a lot of challenges coming up, a lot of limited wireless suppliers are there, and there's a technological limitation. In terms of the non-fuel, it is all sporadic, and because you can imagine lighting and other things are deployed by dealer, by the local, from the local shop, there's no uniformity and there's no common concept of automating that, but gradually it is coming up. So what is the market opportunity for me? So as I said, out of the 80,000 petrol pumps, nearly 5 to 10,000 petrol pumps comes for the automation every year. And automation has been made mandatory by the government. In the 2008 onward, these were all cable which were laid, and last 2-3 years it is going on the wireless. Now, when we go into the market, and because of our technical reason, if we can tap, each fuel facility automation approximately per outlet cost is 1.5 lakh to 2.5 lakh. And if we can take around 7,500 outlet per year, which will get automated, then we are talking of a huge market share of 150 crore. And in terms of the non-fuel, there is an approximate cost of around 3 to 4 lakh per outlet. And if we take again 5,000 outlets, so we are talking of 175 crore business potential within 1 year. And so overall, if you take a conservative look also, the market share is anything between 300 to 700 crore per year.
Mr. Arun, we are close to 3 minutes now.
Yes, I could see the timer. Thank you.
Yeah.
So now, in technically speaking, my particular solution is trying to solve the problem which our existing solution are providing, are suffering because their speed is less. They are using a Zigbee technology where there is a concept of gateway, coordinator, router, kind of a one-on-one solution. And what we are trying to offer is a mesh networking where there are multiple gateways supported and multiple devices can talk to each other. That way the system is unlimited way expandable. It is a distributed architecture. There is no single point of failure. And actually, fundamentally, when we talk, we can have all the fuel and non-fuel automation together. So in a broader sense, we can have one particular cohesive network or multiple network working together at one outlet and providing a complete end-to-end solution and giving all the data to the required information to the company. Now, benefit is that sometime you also suppose there is a non-fuel happening or there is no sale happening, you can even control the lighting if everything is together. Unfortunately, today that doesn't happen. The lighting and other thing doesn't get that optimized, despite whether the sale is happening or not happening, or if there is a shutdown or if there is a lack of a stock. All those things will get covered automatically if we have a cohesive system. So in a broad sense, our technology will provide a mesh network, which is a distributed architecture with no single point of failure, self-healing network. By the way, we are not creating an IP because we are using a standard open source wireless network. We are taking advantage of first mover and domain knowledge. That's where we are creating a differentiation with a known market. We have already implemented this as a pilot to the Bharat Petroleum. The order was received in last quarter of 2021 and its pilot was completed successfully in April 22. Now we are qualified to bid for next tender coming up with them. On the same terms, we are working with IOCL, HPCL, And the similar solution we are also offering for terminal automation, where the fuel gets filled into the tank. And in the non-fuel facility, we have a lot of success stories, both in India and outside the India, and which are larger systems. So that is a very easy and convenient way for us. Now, so business potential, I already covered to you that 300 to 700 crore per year is the business. And even if we target 10% of that, we are talking 30 to 50 crore per year for our business. Now, social impact, as you can imagine, you and me are both are user of that. So there is a quality quantity benefit. There is a theft and adulteration prevention benefit when it comes to fuel automation. And in terms of the non-fuel automation, there is a greenhouse gas reduction, which are aligned to the Indian target of COP26. And I can give you a couple of examples that fuel adulteration causing pollution. This is from the IOCL and industry. One particular case recently, you must be knowing that oil marketing firm plan to introduce dynamic pricing and retain minimum stock is to be maintained. And IOCL also has come up with the sustainability criteria which are defined as an organization level. So these two solutions, both the solution has very large impact for the organization, and we believe that we have a large potential to continue our business in this area. I think time is up. So.
Thank you, Mr. Arun. The time is up. We would reverse the time for the Q&A now. Julius, we open for questions.
So I think my presentation is visible, or I need
no,
to keep...
if it's required only. At the moment, we'll start with the Q&A.
Can you tell a bit about who is in your team, who are working on this solution? How many guys are you?
So I have partner ecosystem where there are development team who develop the solution based on the wireless technology, and I have a deployment team who actually will deploy the solution into the field. So both the parts of developing the solution and deploying the solution, that team is already ready and they are already trained on that.
So what is maybe you said that in the presentation also, but is the value proposition that you give a more stable solution than other technologies? So it's what is the exact offer that they have they get at the fuel station? Is it it's the stability, or it's cheaper? I didn't really get that.
Yeah, so it is the latest technological enhancements which gives the reliability and stability. So as in one of the slides I had presented, the current solutions are based on a ZigBee technology, which is kind of a one-on-one with non-expandable. It is dependent on one or two developers who are in India and providing that solution to multiple companies. To name you particularly, there is a company called Relcom in Ahmedabad who has developed the ZigBee-based solution for fuel automation, and they are selling it through the 2-3 already existing players who are providing the solution to the end customer, which is public sector companies. So there is a government, which is PSU, HPCL, IOCL, BPCL, who are buying from one company who has a proven track record, and in turn they are getting a product developed from a third party. And that's where the quality is also suffering and the development efforts are also suffering. And then the technological limitations is affecting that. And what we have discussed with the customer is that we will not have any intermittent party. So we don't have proven track record per se, what are the public sector companies required in India for you to get qualified. But then we are also qualified under the startup industry and in a small industry, and we are likely to get preferential treatment for 10%. Although we don't have proven track record directly. So those kind of a thing we have covered up. And companies are suffering from existing suppliers, so they are open for our idea.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Hi, I have a couple of questions. So the first thing is regarding the benefits that the pumps stations would have in terms of dealers and stuff like that. I mean, of course, I want to understand the savings that they could get in terms of proven savings, right? In terms of capital costs and running expenses and other things. So you said you piloted with Bharat Petroleum. Did you have any numbers? I mean, at least having run for 3 months or 4 months, that you showed any profit margins that was beneficial to them?
So to be clear, sir, when it comes to fuel automation, there is no direct calculation of saving which they do that, because the fuel automation ensures the quality and quantity. They avoid the adulteration because they are able to capture everything, whatever has been exactly received. So 8,000 liters, if you received, have you sold 8,000 liters or you have sold more than that? That's where you are able to control the adulteration. So fuel automation has its own defined parameters, which are monitored by price change dynamically. So we demonstrated all those functionality. But when it comes to non-fuel automation, there is a saving potential of 6 to 15%. Now, unfortunately, in India, the sales offices and all are not so automated, not so air conditioned and all. But otherwise, there is a saving comes in terms of 6 to 15% in terms of energy optimization. And you can also get saving in terms of asset maintenance, which is again not directly quantifiable, but when the compressor is under pressure, when the compressor is not getting used, how much it is getting used, whether you need additional compressor for that particular outlet. So when the outlets are becoming bigger, or the master outlets of the company, they have to decide what assets they need. So these all parameters, which is measurable and non-measurable, both benefits will come up from that. And environmental monitoring benefit will come up from that.
And what about the human resources? How many people do you have in your company? You just mentioned that you have some for deployment and others. So what is the total strength of your company?
So, sir, as on state, around 10 people are with me, which are directly with me. And I have a company who is my partner. They are around 3,000 people pan-India. They are currently providing IT services, IT maintenance services, which is PC and printers and all. And they are geared up to provide me support whenever I need it, because these outlets, whenever we get the business, will be spread over. So that understanding has been formed in a partner ecosystem.
The last question is regarding the auctioning. You said the price ranges of this fuel price range can be different, right? I mean, one could also potentially bid. So is there a way in which you have an auctioning scheme that you allow through this online portal, or is there a feedback?
No, so currently, actually, government has controlled. All the 3 oil companies are defined with a one particular price. Otherwise, like I was in US and all globally, they decide based on the day of the time and based on the location that what will be the price, and that substantially varies. And that's where they can make a lot of money in that. So,
but if I as a customer, if I were to fill my my gas from a particular station, could I figure out runtime on my phone that I could see which is the prices and things like that, and I could figure out,
or the station could bid. No, there are portals available where you can see the pricing for all nearby petrol pumps or fuel stations, and you can pick and choose where you are going. So it is incentivizing for you to go into the afternoon and fill up maybe 1 mile away or 1 kilometer away, and get the fuel, because there's a lesser price there.
Okay.
So systems are designed in India also, which is capable of doing that. So you can change the price for every outlet for every time. But because of government policies today, that is not implemented in India.
Thank you.
Thank you. Exploring other questions?
Not from my side, Nilesh.
Okay.
So, Mr. Arun, since this is an innovation award, can you really, so where is your innovation? Technology innovation or a business process innovation? Where is your innovation? And you already have a technology IT service provider which is providing the technology.
Yes, sir. So when I was applying for this, I had a debate, and I even spoke to a couple of your colleagues that, do you call it really innovation, and this is project improvement, or a solution improvement is also qualifying as an innovation? So I'm very, very clear. It is not that I have developed a new, completely out of the box solution. This is the existing solution which is suffering with a couple of problems. I was party to those solution 10 years back. After 10 years, when I re-entered the market, I saw that there is a gap into the market, or there's a lack into the market of latest technology and solution. So I put together my thoughts and bounced it to the oil company. Then they liked it. So that's where I put it together, and now I'm definitely seeing a big business potential. So you call it as an innovation, you call it as a solution problem. That's why I put it into sustaining. So there is an existing solution, but we are trying to improve upon that on the latest technology. And when you are able to mix and match the signals, like I said, lighting and the fuel, or compressor and the number of consumers and all, you can get a lot of benefit, which is not possible today, which is the existing solution doesn't have that solution existing. So latest technological, which we are putting into the innovation bucket here.
Okay, so you circumvented my question. Again, I'll repeat my question. What is your innovation? Technology innovation or business innovation? Because
Business
technology
innovation.
somebody else is providing.
Business innovation and putting into the domain knowledge and making best use of that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No, let's be very transparent, because we know what is innovation. After so many years, we know what we are talking. I'm not.
No, we are not giving more weightage to technology or business. Innovation is innovation, right?
Yes, business innovation, and this market is right now needing that, which is a huge potential. So
Okay.
I'm very excited that this will turn up into a huge potential.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Arun. The time is up for the Q&A segment, sir. Thank you for your time. We wish you the best with the results for your category of innovation and automation. We'll keep you posted. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your guidance and supporting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Jurors, you can evaluate this presentation. In the meantime, I'll get the next set ready. Mr. Arun, you can wait for this presentation if you want to, because this presentation would be open. It's not private. If you wish to log out, it's up to you. The next presentation is from E42. We have E42 Solutions. Would be presenting by Animesh. Animesh, if you can turn on your video. Thank you. Can I see the presentation? I hope I could show you the timer as well, 10 minutes. If you're speaking, you might be on mute.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Great. Shall we start?
Let me just check with the jurors. Jurors, can we start if you're evaluating the first presenter? Can we start with the presentation?
Yeah, let's start, Gavin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Animesh, over to you.
Thank you, Gavin. And it's a pleasure to be here in this August company. I've been here, I think, about 4 or 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. We were finalists that time, and this time, let's hope we make it as a winner. But everyone, having said that, also, I mean, feel free to think of any kind of collaborations, because we feel what we are going to present to you now is already impacting various aspects of life as we see it. So we are E42. In the next 8 minutes odd, we'll see how cognitive automation is influencing industry, and you will learn how enterprise intelligence is what the future is all about, and how we can make enterprise intelligent one at a time. So first of all, what are we looking at? We are looking at a very new world in the next 3 to 4 years. We're looking at a world where machines will work with AI hand in hand, and humans and AI is going to collaborate to get great things moving in the shortest span of time. In fact, World Economic Forum has even predicted that 50% of enterprise workforce will be AI powered by 2026. And these are big numbers, and these are not, and whether it's IDC, any of the tech watchers in the world, and most of them recognized us, as you would have seen in the previous slide. We are out there among the top companies in the world that are doing this as we speak, right? So whether it's IDC, Microsoft, SAP, Gartner, all have either reports on us or have presented the work that we have done in various forums. So right now, what we have is a situation that when you think from an enterprise level, you have a very tricky situation. You know that you have to keep producing more and more. You know that you cannot have humans, they're not excited about the job. There is stories of great resignation, and you see all of that thing happening. People don't want repeated jobs. They want more creative jobs. They want jobs which sort of satisfy them in more other levels, right? And everyone in enterprise today, you ask any CIO, which was not the case a few years ago, they know that the AI is the answer, right? So they're all evaluating technology as we speak. And today, a lot of point solutions are there. There are chatbots, there are RPA with AI, and there are a lot of these things happening out there, right? And in this kind of a scenario, the CIOs also have another challenge, is how do they implement AI? They know AI is the answer, but implementation is very complex. It takes a lot of consulting. The discovery phase itself is pretty long and exhausting. So we've found a way that we can disrupt all that. And as we speak, we're already disrupting that using the E42. It's a no-code cognitive process automation platform, the first of its kind, that's bringing automation across functions, across verticals. And just to give you a few examples, I'll cover that examples in the next slide, but just take any enterprise. You have all these sectors, whether it's marketing, finance, IT operations, customer service, HR, enterprise solutions, all of these things we have already automated, right? We've developed a platform where people can see, you can converse, you can sense, just like a human, you can read, and the AI can listen and infer and reason. All of these activities can be done by the AI, right? And it can be deployed omni-channel. So all of this, just like a human can work on an email, it can chat, and it can trigger machines. Same way, the platform can also do all of these things, right? And we use a lot of our own AI models. We've got a few patents as well, and we are also working, from whatever the latest technology out there is, making it all available on a single platform to enterprises worldwide. Just to give you an example, these are few of the examples. As we speak today, customer care agents, AI customer care agents have been deployed in companies like FreeCharge, where they have seen a complaint ratio really drop. There are AI insurance agents deployed with large US international companies. There are AI HR executives, which the Mohit Kapoor, the CIO of Mahindra & Mahindra, keeps raving about how the employee journey and customer journey are few of his most important aspects in his new initiatives, right? Then you have the lending associates, which banks are using, for KYC, which is done through one of our partners called Knowledge Apps. Then, and I can keep on and on. At Hindalco, when you go, there is a gatekeeper that's AI driven, that's powered on our platform, which lets people in, only those that are allowed to be there. So you can imagine a use case, whether it's in finance or it's in industry, where like a human, the AI has to either see something or read a document as it is, or learn from some unstructured document. Like a human is taught policies and processes and SOWs, the AI can also be taught all of those things, and it can do various kinds of activities for all of these departments. And the most special part about the E42 platform is because we're the only horizontal platform that functions across verticals, it also means that these AI workers, and this is very important, learn of each other. They enrich data, they enrich entities, and therefore the entities become smarter. And this is the future. This is what, when I was talking to the CTO of GE appliances in the US, his major threat is not his competitor like a Samsung or any other appliance company. His major threat is the reseller like Amazon, right? And that is because Amazon is intelligent. Amazon is listening to people, and it's able, the production part is today the most easiest part. You can make the goods or services as you like very fast. And typically this is how any AI workers work. They take an input, it could be from a human, it could be from another machine. They process it through unstructured data or structured data, and they give an output, back to the machine, another machine, or to a human, right? And like I said, we don't have time to even discuss one use case in detail, but overall, we know AI, and our partners and the enterprise know the business, right? So we just give a no-code platform on which you can drag and drop APIs connected to various systems. You can feed it unstructured data as it is, whether it's a video file or whether it's a PDF document. You want to teach it rules, processes, just feed the document as it is. It will learn from that and start behaving or start giving output as we need. It's one platform. It works across all sorts of media, whether it's channel, we interact with humans and other machines, like I said earlier, and it's built on all open source platform with proprietary technology. So there's only one license involved when any enterprise engages with us, and it can talk to any other system out there, right? And if you see it in action today, companies like these, like this is Tata Communications example, which I gave, they built an insight generating agent on using the platform that they won the Marketing Excellence Award in New York earlier this year. And, using that, and there are a lot of other AI workers. So it's all these enterprises don't do one AI worker. So here's another use case where it's about an IT ops manager connected to HR executive and the L&D manager. These are use cases like we have at Mahindra & Mahindra. These are use cases where I spoke about one of the largest aluminum companies are using it to automate the accounts payable, to automate the gatekeeper, and it's also an HR executive. Accenture uses it as an AI recruiter to hire people, hire candidates. They conduct interviews on that, and they're able to also they build an AI agent that can interview the AI agent or ask questions to the AI agent that does those interviews. So they can ask the AI, how many interviews did you do in California, and how many of them were from Stanford? So you can ask that to the AI, and the AI will answer. So they build another AI worker that does that. Very quick ROI, because directly you're comparing it with humans, and the output is much more efficient. And it's so we are talking about superpowering humans. The same salesperson in a company is able to do much more volumes. The same operations person in a company is able to manage many more employees, or their requirements. So we are talking about not just a typical use case where you have better user experience, lower costs, but we are talking about the enterprise becoming smart, enterprise becoming intelligent. And this is the new era, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what we are talking, where the enterprise can enrich all its entities, whether the entity is a customer or it's a machine or it's anything. And across all of these things, there can be a lot of knowledge. But in doing all of this, and many times I'm accused, and I have written a lot of articles on it. In fact, my co-founder, I hope Sanjeev is also here today, maybe. He's also written an article today in the Times of India also, which talks about how AI is revolutionizing. And then we get questioned whether we're taking away jobs. And I'd like to tell you, no, actually part of the social impact is creating jobs. Just like the computer era created more jobs with computers, in preparing the computers, making the software for the computers. Similarly, this AI era is going to give more jobs to people in solving the world's problem by creating these AI agents. We are giving away the platform, especially to startups. We've got a very fantastic partnership model by which when they scale, we make money. So we are, and also helping reduce carbon emissions, because people can operate these machines working from home. They don't have to go out on the street and block traffic like we do in Bangalore and Pune and many other cities in the world. So we can, all of this can be, we're saving a lot of, reducing the carbon emissions by large, and all these are studies that are out there. I don't have much time to go into it in depth. It's a very simple model by which we engage. And most importantly, the awards and recognitions, like I said, apart from being a finalist here once before, but apart from that, we are the SAP ACE award winners in 2019, along with Mahindra & Mahindra, we won that award. We are NASSCOM Deep Tech Club member. We are also NASSCOM AI Game Changer. Internationally also, we've been recognized. I will be speaking at the Synergy IT Conclave in the US later on, and at the Oracle 2020 Summit in Las Vegas in October. But all over the world, we've got recognition. And I think this is an idea whose time has come. And we've been 10 years. We are not a fly-by-night company. We've been 10 years in the business. We've been 4.5 years pure R&D. We're one of the few product companies that have spent a lot of time and effort and money. We are $8.5 million funds raised so far. And yes, we are here to take any questions. And I think Sanjeev is also here, so he'll also take questions.
Yes,
Sanjeev is our
Thank you.
co-founder and also heads the product.
Thank you, Animesh. Thank you, Sanjeev. We are open for questions. Jurors, we can start the timer for the Q&A now.
Wonderful work, Animesh, Sanjeev. So
Thank
how you stand apart from your competitors?
So our competitor in the space, I just take a quick second, Sanjeev, before you get into the depth.
Sure.
But yeah, our competitor in the space, as far as technology is concerned, is IBM Watson. So for example, the product that the version that we implemented at Tata Communications, they were evaluating, IBM had a product, Watson had a product called Explorer. So I think they've already shelved that because we've beaten them in quite a few of those orders. But yeah, on a technology level, that is the competitor. But then, like I said, there are various point solutions, like, there are chatbot companies and all, which also we do. So there are these point companies, but like I said, we're the only one which is a horizontal play across verticals. And we give a very simple user interface where you can actually drag and drop and create AI workers on the platform, whether it is a receptionist, to welcome guests, or an analyst, to do complex analysis and make a report. Both, all of those can be made very easily on the platform.
But how
Yeah.
about like a domain expertise? Because each domain varies, right?
Beautiful.
The models take a lot of time in terms of really learning. Even Watson need to really learn the different industries.
Yes.
So have you really trained for which specific industry your system is perfect? Or it is agnostic to industries?
Yes.
It is agnostic to industry. So if I may take that, Animesh. So basically, in the back end of the platform, we have conversational AI, we have natural language processing models, we have AI workflows, we have no code API integration, we have face recognition.
So
we have
Sanjeev, we understand technology. What my question is, any AI is like a child. This child needs to understand the language. Every domain has a different language. So my
Absolutely,
question is,
absolutely.
have you trained your system for all the languages, or it is trained for manufacturing or telecom or say
No, so
airline?
basically it's basically the models are generic. So what happens is that on the platform itself, our partners who has the subject matter expertise, they add the data that is required for a particular AI worker, and we transfer learn on the CPU itself. We hold a patent in that space as well. So that's how we are learning. And then basically, like, any new this thing comes in, we have a data compounding effect where the model gets better and better for that specific kind of an AI worker.
So that's a theory, Sanjeev. Again, okay, let it open for other members.
That's how it is. It is currently working on the platform. That's how most of the enterprises are currently using it as well. Yeah.
So just to put it in a little bit more layman's language, it is basically what Sanjeev is saying is we've already got billions of pairs of trained algorithms, pre-trained this, which is only, we need to do only transfer learning 2 sets. And like you said, Dariya sir, it's not just a different language for different verticals. That's what, we normally think. Actually, when you go deeper, it's different languages, what you call, for every enterprise. Within the same vertical, we do a lot of work in manufacturing also, and pharma also. We see that what Mahindra & Mahindra, the terminologies they use, the Tatas, they do not use that. So there is a lot of differentiation and learning there. So so the transfer learning can be done to those individual, data sets, and the biggest training on the NLP parts and all of the AI models, that's all done. It's pre-trained, and then
because you have done the successfully churn prediction for Airtel does not mean that you can do it for Vodafone.
Correct.
Because the data structure for both the companies changes drastically.
Absolutely.
Yeah, correct.
That's where our platform holds the strength, because we just take that new data and we.
Thanks.
Professor Sen, you're on mute. Yes.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Nice work. So I mean, when I think about these bots, I think the bots would possibly self-organize themselves and evolve, right? I mean, that is the kind of expectation we have about how AI would evolve. Right now, you have some data and you have to train them through learning techniques, supervised, etc., etc. But what about the possibility of bots themselves evolving? And you have a system where you can completely make it unmanned, and they do the decision making, and they give you explainable decisions, why they took these decisions. And is there a thought process in that direction, how you are kind of going to build these future engines, or if you have built any of those?
No, so right now, in terms of all the AI workers that we deploy, they are self-learning. So basically, like, we have typically like reinforcement learning as well as a semi-supervised learning that is going on. But in terms of an explainability, so that basically it's over a period of time, only the escalations need to go to the human counterpart, which the AI is not able to handle that. But in terms of explainability,
in the sense, self-learning is there should not be any supervision. Supervision, of course, you get some data that you can supervise, semi-supervised, but I'm saying completely through clustering.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I see the system, let's say I go to an unknown environment, I just sample the environment, and I'm able to kind of learn the environment, and I kind of adjust myself to that environment, right? So this is self-organization, which is completely unsupervised. I'm saying, do you have unsupervised?
So basically we have, I mean, if I may answer that, I'll not extend it to the completely unfamiliar environment and completely from scratch open-ended learning there. What we are saying is that there is a supervised training initially, and basically from there on, basically there is a self-learning module that comes in to incrementally add on the learning. If it's a completely new environment, you need to do the first time training. And in terms of explainability of the AI part, that is something that we are currently working on, because some of the areas that we are deployed in, they need to have that as part of a compliance requirement later on in the future. So that is something that some work that is happening on this thing currently, but that is not as part of the current release version right now, but it's something that R&D is going on.
And one question, last question regarding the manpower. So you mentioned to me that you're going to have more intelligent jobs created, and therefore you're going to have jobs would not be lost, right? If imagine a warehouse is completely automated, and you replace receptionists and the workers and everybody through AI. So what do you see in terms of these people engaged? Is it they don't have these jobs that they originally had, right?
So,
So-
Professor Shamya, if I may just, so just very quickly, definitely the way the jobs are evolving, I mean, it's going up. So what we are talking about is just a warehouse within an enterprise function, which is, which today, because of the industrial revolution, which consists the majority of the jobs, right? But tomorrow, what's happened? One is there will be a lot of jobs. There are a lot of problems to solve in the world. It's not, and all of them are not enterprise related, right? They can be future enterprises that come up, solving these problems, So we are seeing that in the startup, the success of startups, success of all these is because there are new areas, new problem statements, which the people are finding solutions to, because our world still needs to go a long way in becoming a better world, for all of us to live in. So those problems will be there. The AI workers will automate a lot of the enterprise functions, but the model that we've got, the platform that we've got on that, which you can build a lot of other AI workers, any kind of AI workers solving for the world's problems, in the days to come. So it's a powerful tool for the startups that they can use it and consume it and build. And already we've got a lot of startups engaged on our platform, from mental health for employees kind of partners like Monami, to HRMS solution, traditional HRMS solution providers. And that also answers the previous question. When that subject matter expertise comes in, we rely a lot on these partners because they know their problems, they know the solve, we give them the platform, they are able to train on their data and start deploying and make it smarter and smarter. So yes, so new type of jobs are going to come in. When it comes to these typical traditional, the low, the low value chain problems are already being solved. It was IVR earlier on, but now it's going to be more AI driven, and all of those, and the decision makers will still be there. And those people in environment, now it will be that same people managing one warehouse will manage 15-20 warehouses, right? That's why if you look at it from the previous, if you compare it to the previous generation, one farmer in India can manage about 3 acres, but a farmer in Canada can manage.
No, but there is a bound, right? There's a bound. You cannot just have this multiplicative effect that goes to infinity, right? You cannot. There's a bound somewhere. So that's what I'm saying. There is a bound that in which you traditional workers would be now creating these bots and building the electronics around. Or, I mean, I just want to see where the displacement is going to happen. Right. Because
in one sentence, a bound will be when all the world's problems are solved. But I think Sanjeev might want to add on to that.
So basically, like, that is basically in terms of if you are looking at that, the same kind of an effect, right? In terms of like, if you look at the computerization that happened in the banks or computerization that happened in general, that the prediction was that there's a lot of jobs that gets lost, but within a generation gap itself, what happened is that a lot of newer type of jobs got created because of the new technology enablement and things like that. And that is how our evolution as a human race itself is happening in terms of like, I mean, if you take a little time back, like, there was a lot of labor work that was lost when the machines came into the picture. But as a race, we never suffered, right? We always progressed. So that's the same impact that the AI also is going to bring up into the entire value system.
Oh, hi Sanjeev, sorry to interrupt. The time is up for the questions. We thank you for your time and for answering all the questions which have been asked by the jurors. We wish you the best with the results. We move forward with the next presenter, and
thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Well done, Sanjeev. Well done,
Thank you.
Animesh.
Thank
Wonderful.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
work.
Bye bye.